welcome back to the Lipoedema podcast. We are your host, Shell.
Tiana, and today we don't have a guest. We are just talking amongst ourselves because I have some news to share.
We are so excited. Tiana, please share your news with our audience.
I'm having a baby. This will be baby number 3 because if you don't know already, I have twins who are 6 years old at the moment. They're turning 7 in July. So this will be baby number 3.
That is so exciting. Our podcast family is growing by 1.
Yay! I feel like we have a very big podcast family. We need to keep an eye on this. No more. No more.
No, I'm out of action, so it's not coming from me. So yeah. So when did you find out that you were pregnant?
I found out painstakingly early that I was pregnant. Because I'm very lucky to have a very regular cycle, and my period is like clockwork. So when it didn't arrive when I expected it to, I was thinking to myself, okay, it's either the start of, and either way, I want to know immediately. So the only way to sort of rule out one of them was to take a pregnancy test. And that came back with the faintest double line. So like, the first line, the control is really strong. And then the second line, I was like, is that even a line? I'm not sure. Like I can't tell. But from what I had read, even a faint line is a positive. So yeah, we sort of found out at like 4.5 weeks. So as I said, it was painstakingly early.
It's going to be a long pregnancy.
Yeah, it sure has been so far.
How did you react initially? Like, how did it hit you?
I had so many emotions. It's sort of, this is not something that my husband and I planned for. So I guess the shock and the weight of a surprise like that was pretty full on. There's always something intrinsic inside me that's excited by the prospect of new life and the fact that I'm carrying new life. But I think a lot of that was overshadowed by, me thinking back to the birth and the first sort of 6 to 10 months of my newborn twins, and how I probably didn't take to motherhood as graciously and smoothly as I think in my head I would have liked to. So there was quite a lot of dread at the beginning, thinking, I don't know if I'm up for this. So it was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, and I guess it's 6 years on too, and like the twins have started school, so it's starting all over again too. So that would have been a bit daunting. I can imagine, like I had my kids really quick succession. So I never got a chance to experience that. But
yeah, it's funny you say that because I couldn't imagine having the twins as toddlers and dealing with all of that chaos, and also like being pregnant or having a newborn. I was like, I don't know how parents of multiple children in quick succession do this. They are amazing. Like that's just, I can't handle that. And then, my husband and I were starting to see a glimmer of our freedom, since the girls turned 5. I think when they turned 5, something happened to me where I leaned into motherhood a little bit more. The girls got a bit more easy. They were a bit more self-sufficient. We were able to reason with them and have conversations with them and hang out, like it was hanging out with my beautiful little people. And yes, obviously we care for them, but not, they had some self-sufficiency. So it just became lovely from the age of 5, and then 6 was glorious, and we were seeing into the light of our freedom and what school age children would bring to us. And then this has happened. So this has been a big shock.
Well, at least you have 2 little helpers helping you
along. They are very excited to be big sisters. I'm not sure whether they recognize the fact that mum will be very distracted by this new little one, and that, of course, my girls demand my attention a lot, and they're still at that age where I'm their emotional punching bag, and they have really big feelings that only mums can hold space for. So that is going to be really interesting to navigate when they realize that my attention will be on a little newborn that relies on me exclusively.
Yeah, that will be a big learning curve for them, hey?
Yeah, but a cute one. They are
Yeah,
very
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, so cute. And so how far along are you now?
So I'm 15 weeks now. So I've got, 5 and a bit months to go. And so far it's gone really slowly.
Yeah, finding out so early. So that means, so you're past the first trimester.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that gone?
That was shit, Shell.
Oh, dude.
Look, and I hear about, women who have a much worse time than me, like those that have hyperemesis gravitas or whatever it is, where they're
Were you
nauseous
sick all the
throughout their
time?
entire pregnancy.
Yeah.
And look, I honestly don't think that I have a condition like that, but through the whole first trimester, I was incredibly nauseous most of the time. And I'm not a vomiter, so it was just feeling like I was going to vomit. And excuse anybody who's maybe listening to this over dinner, please don't. Maybe go for a walk and listen to this, or get away from your kitchen. But I'm not really a vomiter. Like, I've got a really strong stomach, and having that constant feeling like I might be sick was so jarring, and distracting for my entire day. So it was much worse when I was hungry, and it was also a lot worse when I tried to choose a food to eat, but it wasn't the correct food for me at the time. So I wasn't able to plan any of my meals because everything made me feel nauseous. The thought of food made me feel nauseous, especially the food that I would usually eat. I couldn't bear to cook that stuff. And so it would be hold off until I was hungry and then work out what I could stomach at that time. So I spent a fortune on food because I would get it, like buying my food on the go, depending on what would make me feel the least sick.
Yeah. Oh, that makes it really hard, especially having a family. Like, so if you can't plan what you're going to have for dinner until you know what you can stomach, like that throws it all into chaos, doesn't it? Like, and especially you're a planner. You like to be very organized. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that would have
our
been really
meal
hard.
plans definitely went out the window. But I guess, so my husband has started a different job this year, and he's on shift work, and most likely he's not home for dinner. So it's really just me sorting out, my two little ones and myself for dinner. So, that was a little bit better because I wasn't having to prepare food for another adult. And with
Yeah.
my children, God love them, but they'd be happy off cheese toasties, plain 2-minute noodles, and um, chicken nuggets. So, and look, I'm not saying that that's nutritionally sound, but when I feel like I'm going to be sick every time I prepare food, it served me well at the time that they were into simple beige foods, because that's really all I could eat, honestly, simple
Yeah.
beige foods.
Yeah, and it takes the pressure off. And like we've said other times, like we go through these seasons, and at the moment, that's just what has to happen in your household. My kids have eggs on toast some nights, and they have toast as well. Actually, I know this episode isn't about me, but my youngest has just been diagnosed celiac. So lucky we're on school holidays because we are about to change everything up in our house. Yeah, those simple dinners, we need to embrace that. Like that, there's nothing that says we have to have, you know, all our serves of veg, fruit, proteins every single day.
I did have to shift, and honestly I don't have my food quite right yet because it's changing and evolving. So now I don't feel like I'm going to vomit all the time, and I'm slowly introducing the healthier food options back into my life. So I had some really crazy food aversions, like salmon, steaks and vegetables is my favorite dinner, and the thought, and even I tried to cook salmon steaks one night, and I did it by the skin of my teeth, but it was disgusting to cook and to prepare, and it was so sad because that's my favorite dinner, and I was like, what am I going to eat if I can't have salmon steaks and vegetables?
Did it taste okay?
I
Or
could
you
eat it.
persevered? Okay.
I could eat it, and I knew, I was like, this is what we've planned for dinner. I don't want it to go to waste. Like, I hate wasting food. Like, if we don't cook it, it's going to have to go in the bin. It's going to go off. Like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to suck it up and do it. And it didn't make me vomit, so A plus, but I didn't enjoy it like I would enjoy that dish. So, but I dare say, like, now, 2 months down the track, that dish I will enjoy again, which is great.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly reintroducing things back into my diet. Right now, what feels really good is like chicken or vegetable soup or curries or stir fries. I really need that carb component in all of my meals, which is a real shift for me, because whilst I'm not keto, and I don't even think I could put myself into the category of low carb, I'm on the lower end of the carb spectrum. So, for example, my day on a plate pre-pregnancy would be fasting until lunchtime, having the biggest salad with chicken, and pumpkin seeds, sprinkled on the top for a bit of crunch. So that, the salad would be huge humongous. So, and then I would snack on nuts and fruit and stuff like that. And then for dinner, it would be like a salmon steak with vegetables and potatoes in the air fryer or something like that. So, fresh whole foods, lower end of the carb. But during pregnancy, it was like cheese toasty, bacon and egg muffin, pizza. I had McDonald's, KFC, and Hungry Jack's within the first 3 months, and I haven't even thought about those takeaway foods since I was a teenager. It's just not part of my nutritional repertoire to think about those fast food restaurants. And so it was very interesting and quite humbling, because I was snowballing a little bit. I was like, this is not what I should be eating for my health, not what I should be eating for my lipedema, and not what I should be eating for the health of my little embryo. Because when you look at all those pregnancy apps, it's very important to eat nutritious meals. I'm like, you try not throwing up when you're making a steak. It was really tough.
Yeah. And did you experience the same thing with the twins? Or is this all new?
This is brand new. So when I was pregnant with the twins, I probably felt that pregnancy hangover feeling probably 3 or 4 times throughout the entire pregnancy. I
awesome.
felt great in my guts. The only thing I had with the twins that was pretty severe was fatigue, and that was from day dot that I went from. So, I worked full time. I was also doing, I was still doing dancing shows. I was actually teaching dancing at the time, and I was doing work for a lady who was setting up a business. We were working on an entrepreneurial program so that she could set up her business. So I was doing all of those things, and then I got pregnant, and I was like, I can't do any of these things. I'm going to have to white knuckle it through my full-time job, and that's it. So I had to can all of the extracurricular activities just to get through the pregnancy. But I didn't have any food aversions, and my tummy felt great. I could eat all of my healthy meals. This time, I do have fatigue for sure. I don't know if it's as bad. It's really hard to compare because, that was 6 or 7 years ago, and I was in my early 30s. Like, it was a different time, and now I'm doing different hobbies that aren't so physically intensive and probably a bit more intellectual. And like, I am very tired, but I can still maintain some of my extracurricular activities and take care of kids. Like, it's hard, but I'm doing
That's what I was gonna say. You're a mum now. Like,
Yeah.
you're raising kids as well. Like, you've got a family, whereas before it was just you and your husband. So, now you've got all those extra things on you as well. So that's going to exhaust you.
Yeah, I think I was
That's
exhausted before I was pregnant. Like,
yeah, that's right.
like this is just a little bit
Welcome
more.
to life.
Yeah, I'm just sleeping really, really well now.
That's awesome. So I want to switch a little bit now. And so how has being pregnant, like you've spoken about food wise, but how has being pregnant impacted your other conservative management routines that you have in place?
Yeah, I really did want to touch on this because I think it's important to talk about with those women that may be pregnant or maybe planning on getting pregnant. So my conservative management has shifted for sure. So when we talk about compression wear, as you know, I am an avid consistent compression wearer. I wear my compression daily, even though I'm almost coming up to 6 months post my final surgery. I've actually got my 6-month review this weekend, I believe, coming up, which is really exciting. So I have continued to wear my compression, and I've had like weekends where I sort of like one day or a weekend or, where I'd be compression free. And I must admit, this weekend, any weekend we go to Stratty and we spend the weekend at the beach, I don't particularly wear my compression because we're in a sandy environment and I don't want to get them ruined. But my class 2 custom compression garments are not fitting me comfortably and have not for some time. And I think it's really like my waistline has expanded quite rapidly. So as of week 7, I think I had to store 25 pairs of pants in my wardrobe because they would no longer do up as of week 7. But that's simply because my whole wardrobe is for a small waist and large thighs. Like, that's my entire wardrobe, because that's the body shape I was always buying for. And so when you're pregnant, like, the waistline just expands, and mine has expanded rapidly. I think my body remembered the time that I had my twins, and it started shifting things around real quick to make way for new baby.
Absolutely. Second
So
time round, absolutely. It's like your body knows what it's doing. It just goes, hello, here we go again.
it sure does. And so my wonderful husband took me shopping for clothes, and for a girl who doesn't wear dresses or skirts, my wardrobe now is basically exclusively stretchy dresses and skirts. So that I can, so that, it can sort of last me a little bit longer, and hopefully I won't have to buy too many maternity items, and I can just, like, those stretchy dresses can sort of grow and mold with me. That's the plan anyway. We'll see. But
yeah, I guess with like maxi skirts and maxi dresses and all that now, and so many beautiful stretch fabrics, you really don't need maternity clothes.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because they are really expensive, and they're only with you for 6 months, and then they're sort of useless. So yeah, I'm really hoping that the wardrobe that I've bought will sort of last me most of the pregnancy, and then be forgiving for me while my body sort of returns back to some kind of normal, whether that be the normal that I was pre-pregnancy or whether that be a new kind of normal. I'm prepared for either way. But yeah, I'm just so now I'm like a dresses girl. Like, it's all happening. I've never been a dresses girl. Yeah, thanks.
Welcome to the dark side.
My outfit of the days are going to look very different from now on. It's going to be so strange. But sadly, like, my much loved Mediven compression stockings have not been comfortable in the waist for quite some time. So whilst I can put them on for a short period of time, so if I know that I'm changing throughout the day, maybe I'll put them on in the morning and then I'll have to change out of them. I'm really sort of stuck with my CZ Salis, and I still don't know how to pronounce it. But my Cisalis compression, because they're much more forgiving in the waistline. They're not custom fit to my pre-pregnancy body, I suppose.
Yeah, and you buy a size up anyway for the length, don't you? So you probably have that little bit more room in the top there.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I never thought of that. But yes, because I'm quite a tall girl, I find that I do have to size up in most compression garments. So yes, I do wear a size large in the CZs, and that makes for a more forgiving waistline. So I'm still wearing compression mostly every day, except for on the weekends at the moment, but I'm very aware that that's going to phase out as I get bigger and bigger in the tummy. The other thing that's changing with my pregnancy is I have a Lymphopress, which is one of those pneumatic pumps. And I previously would do that. I bought it post-surgery, and I've been doing it nightly before I go to bed. And when I told my lymphatic therapist, Lisa from Lymphatic Health and Massage in Browns Plains, when I told her that I was pregnant, she contacted the rep for Lymphopress and asked, what I sort of needed to do. And they suggested that I reduce the pressure on the stomach part of the pants and also unzip them on the side so that the pressure would hopefully be little, if not nil. So there's it's unfastened from sort of under breast to hips. And then he said, but pretty quickly when I start to show, he would recommend that I don't use it because you don't want any pressure on that lower abdomen. So
okay.
I'm now no longer using my Lymphopress, and I'm so glad I knew that, because I probably would have persevered for longer than I probably should have, because that's just my personality. It's like, I should be doing this. It doesn't matter if it's uncomfortable. But as soon as it started to get a little bit uncomfortable, I was like, you know what? I think that's time. Like, it's time now to put that away, and it's away in my little cupboard, and it's very sad. But now what I'm doing is just going back to legs up the wall. And I still find legs up the wall incredibly effective.
Yep.
So instead of getting into my pump and opening up my clavicle, underarms, and the groin area and under my behind my knees and doing deep breathing, I do exactly the same opening up sequence, but I do it with my legs up the wall. And I still have to go to the bathroom immediately after, and basically hourly overnight. But I think that's also pregnancy. So not just my lymphatic drainage, it's also pregnancy.
Absolutely. So I know like neither of us had progression during our pregnancies. Like that wasn't a time of lipedema progression for us. But are you concerned at all with this pregnancy that after you, because you've had surgeries, like you've had 2 surgeries now, is there how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, honestly, when I first got pregnant, I was really nervous because I had just spent all this money on 2 surgeries on my legs, and I just recovered. So my whole mentality was getting my activity back, getting my flexibility back, getting my strength back, getting my muscle mass back. And I'm sort of having to do a physical shift again and a mental shift because my physical journey is going to change again. So that was concerning to me, and I wasn't concerned about the regrowth during pregnancy. I was more so concerned about the fact that I'm 37 and that for some reason in my head I'm near perimenopause. Like, for some reason I feel like I'm going to go through perimenopause earlier than people, and maybe I'm just a stress head. Like, maybe that's just my anxiety. But in my head, I'm like, I'm going to get through this pregnancy and go straight into perimenopause, and that's when everything's going to exacerbate, and these surgeries will have to get revised and all of that. So I don't think it's the pregnancy that's making me nervous. I think it's the fact that my age and where I am in my hormone cycle with my age. I feel like I've still got a journey, and I may have a limited amount of time between post-pregnancy and perimenopause to like get things back on track, and that's really intimidating to me.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Yeah, I understand.
But my
where you
husband and
come
I
from.
were talking about like going through this pregnancy and all of those concerns that I had, and he's very gracious to be supporting me to say, as soon as I'm healed from my pregnancy and I feel ready, we will, financially prepare for me to have my next surgery, which will be my arms and my abdomen and revision on my legs. So that's really nice, that because, when as women we sacrifice our bodies, and obviously babies cost a lot of money, like children cost a lot of money, raising a family costs a lot of money, so we would be less inclined to spend money on ourselves the more kids we have. So my husband and I have made that commitment that my body is still very important regardless of how many children that we have, and I will progress with my next surgery when I feel ready to do that. And I don't know when that's going to be, because I want to get to some level of fitness and some level of muscle mass to prepare for the perils of surgery first. But we will do that when I'm ready.
We'll be pursuing that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. You've got to be in your best possible health when you hop on that table, as we've discussed before. Like if we are in our best health, then they can take more, we can recover faster, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Tiana, thank you so much for sharing this with us tonight.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Letting you. I wouldn't have stopped you in the slightest, babes. So we're just going to ask our audience now, if you would like to know more how Tiana's going along the way, we can do another couple of episodes as maybe next trimester and then towards the end. And you can also follow on Tiana's socials. She'll be sharing there as well. So, let us know. We'll ask a question on Spotify, do a poll. If you want to hear more about Tiana's pregnancy journey with lipedema, we'll do that.
We'll do that. Yeah, let us know. You can always message us on our Instagram or our Facebook account as well, saying we want more. Otherwise, you'll just stick with me and my lipedema on Instagram, and I can keep you up to date.
Very cool. I can't wait to see you grow, and then to meet your bubba when it's time.
Well, you will see me be growing, because Shell, we're heading to the Lipoedema Australia conference in like June, and so I'll be in my fourth trimester, maybe.
Yeah.
That's very scary. I think I'll just be at the beginning of my fourth trimester.
You'd be like
actually,
30 weeks, about 30-ish.
Like that. I'll be huge, and flying will be interesting.
Math.
Yeah, I can't math. But yes, that'll be really interesting.
It will be great. It will be great.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a little bit of shooting down there. We'll be making some content down there, maybe interviewing some people. We have been invited to interview some people if we would like to. So yeah, we're not sure how that's going to look yet, but yeah, we will be there and we will be on fire.
Yeah, can't wait. Me and the belly will be there.
Yeah, everyone can come say hello to the belly.
Exactly. Oh, very good.
Well, thank you, Tiana. Until next time. Bye.
Bye for now.
When we started the Lipoedema podcast, we relied on word of mouth and existing connections.
Our following has happened organically, and we are so honoured by your support.
As we learn more about the world of social media and algorithms, we have a request.
When you are listening to our podcast or watching on YouTube, let us know what you think.
Hit follow or subscribe.
Leave us a comment or write a review.
The more engagement we get, the more our message is shared.
And the greater our reach to those women suffering in silence.
Thank you for listening to the Lipoedema podcast. Lipoedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipoedema podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.